Welcome to the Gunslinger Gaming Frosty Pints podcast. I'm Gobi, and joining me tonight will be DrNiggle, Deleteness, and pwnzilla. So sit back and enjoy the ride. Hope you all had a great week. How y'all doing tonight?
Meh.
Fantastic.
Tired.
Oh boy, I hope y'all are ready for this high energy podcast. We got some exciting stuff to talk about tonight.
Oh, gee golly!
It's gonna be a hootenanny.
Hold on to your britches, people. It's fucking real.
Wow.
Did you get your trip sleep?
Goodness.
All right.
Okay.
I know something that Gobi's really pumped to talk about. Probably have to do with Gears of War.
Yes. They have officially leaked the release date is September 10th of this year, which is awesome and kind of sucks at the same time because, if I'm not mistaken, Ghost Recon Breakpoint comes out right around the same time, and that's going to be a little tough. They're switching it up a little bit, and they're talking about making Gears 5 a little more open worlds than the previous ones, and it's going to kind of go into the origins of the Locusts, which means Hail the Queen. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, Queen Myra.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure. I'm probably the only one in Gunslingers, but I'll own it. I'm a gearhead, so.
No, you're not the only one. I'm all in on that game.
Oh.
And especially considering that the female protagonist, I'm like, dude, you don't see it often, but when it happens, it's great. Like, I'm all about that shit. I mean, the lead male protagonist, I feel like is played out in gaming. And honestly, I really liked her character in the last Gears game.
Oh, yeah, she's one of my favorite. But I mean, Anya will always be Bae, but she's a close runner-up.
Yeah, it's sad she's dead.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert from like Gears 3.
That's like Harry Potter spoilers now. It's like, all right, if you haven't read the books, you've seen the movies, you're probably never gonna.
Yeah.
It's not a spoiler at this point. Oh.
But
yeah,
I like the box art really
Yeah.
does kind of show what's up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the frozen tundra. Like, that'll be interesting.
Like, it's crazy that Marcus still matters more than his son.
Because Marcus is a badass and JD's a pussy little bitch.
Seriously, right? I know, right? Thank you. I'm glad somebody else agreed with me on that shit, dude. What the hell kind of punk ass little son did he get birth to?
Oh my god! I mean,
the girl is more along his lines than he is. Like, he's complimenting her. Remember that scene where they're climbing up that thing, whatever? It's like, yeah, you got a very impressive girlfriend there. That's what Marcus was caring about. His son did not impress him at all the whole time.
It's like the apple fell from the tree and then somebody picked it up and threw it as hard as they could.
Yes, exactly it.
See, DrNiggle with his metaphors, I love it.
That's all I got. I got nothing else in me.
No. Nothing like chainsawing somebody to give you a little PSP or PTSD.
I'd really love to see that weapon in other games.
Reels though, what? But at this point, it's probably gonna be like copyrighted by now. I think. Like,
yeah.
I feel like it's just too iconic.
The closest you'll ever come is the other game by people that fly Bulletstorm. The carbine in Bulletstorm is pretty close, and that's about as close as you're ever going to get.
I was just imagining in my mind, like, how awesome would it be if they actually put a weapon like that in Warframe, and, you know, you got this, like, close-up animation where you just sawed an enemy in half, and then I was thinking, wow, the community would be really pissed off about that, because it just doesn't feel like Warframe, and then that just made me bitter. So,
Wait,
yep.
Why wouldn't it feel like Warframe? Honestly, there's so much dismemberment going on in that game.
I know. Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, I know. I got a Plague path with /viral on it. I'm sorry. I've Shanghai the podcast. We're talking about Warframe now. So I have this awesome Zaw that I've crafted, and it just slices people into many, many different pieces, which is great for Necros because then each little piece, gives a little poof, and then loot drops from it. But yeah, I don't know. There's this whole debate going back and forth all the time, ever debating on Warframe forums, like what belongs in this game, what doesn't belong in this game, what fits in the universe, what doesn't. Like, it's a video game. you can reskin basically anything. So
it's future space ninja. What do you? Any at this point, anything should fit in this game. I don't understand what the restriction is, honestly, at this point.
I absolutely agree with you. The other thing is that, yeah, you do have a lot of frames that are space ninjas, but they've moved away from that in the past. You have some that are just wrecking frames that are just like DPS glass cannons or tanks, just straight up damage tanks. So why not make a big ass weapon for a damage tank that tears people in half?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's so nice.
What's the frame that's the gunslinger?
Mesa.
Mesa.
Oh yeah, I would roll. I love me my Mesa, especially that whole ad clearing capability of it.
Oh yeah. There's that's the best glass cannon in my opinion because you're super squishy, but you jump in the air, you pop into Peacemaker, just look around, everything's dead.
And I swear that one should represent our clan.
Yeah, Mesa. Yeah. All right, I'll build an effigy of her in the GS dojo or something.
Oh yes.
Hell yeah.
I can do that. All right. So anyway, what's this MK11? Mario Kart 11? No, it's Mortal Kombat.
Don't get anybody excited, all right? I mean,
so
geez,
I thought this article was very interesting. I didn't think, I know people who don't play Mortal Kombat 11 because of the gratuitous gore and shit, which is my biggest appeal for the game. So,
yeah, what the hell is wrong with those people?
I know, to each their own, right? But I mean, in fairness, quote unquote, to them, they do go above and beyond with that shit, and it's like, I think in MK11 they stepped it up even more so than MKX.
it's fucking beautiful though.
It is beautiful. No, in my humble gaming experience, it's gorgeous. It is like it's like having a meet with God. It's just amazing. Just how much the gratuitous, it's just, it's like they sat and I used to think man, these guys sat and looked deep down into their darkest, deepest places to come out with this kind of stuff. Then I read this article and I'm like, yeah, they did, and they gave themselves PTSD. That's insane. Wow, they actually mind fucked themselves making their own game. I'm like, wow, because just sit around dude, imagine the conversation in the room when they had to plan out fatalities, right? Right?
Somebody was
Can you
so
imagine
researching serial killers.
I would have loved to be like a fly on that wall because I mean, seriously, some of the stuff they come up with, I could never have imagined in my life.
So
even knowing the character and stuff.
So in the last kill,
the babe pellets were the thing that was more disturbing when he turned them into babies. I don't know if you guys ever remember that.
Well, babality.
Oh
yeah, babality. That was more disturbing than the
But it opened the franchise up to a whole world of dead baby jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can never have enough of those.
So going to hell.
Yeah.
If Tipper Gore were here, she would punch us all in the dicks.
We all collectively just booked our first class tickets on that plane.
We just need
we're flying that shit in there.
New character, the abortion doctor. Won't be definitely not from Alabama.
Call it Planned Parenthood.
We're I can tell from everyone's general mood that we're very sympathetic with this guy that's got PTSD.
We feel so bad for them right now.
So bad.
I feel there should be treatment for them. And oh god, I don't know. There's no recovering this. There's no salvaging this. We're assholes going straight to hell. These guys genuinely suffer. But I mean, isn't it kind of more it's self-inflicted though? It's they wanted to make it this way.
Yeah, no doubt. They started this. They knew what they were getting into, and as you say, it would have been wonderful to be there at the discussion meetings, just the creative meetings. Talking about, last time when he murdered. When the last fatality he had, he pulled this guy's head off and then stuck his arm down into the guy's neck and then ripped out his intestines and then, did a little lasso move before kicking the guy in the dick. This time, we gotta really kick it up, okay?
I want more.
It's gotta be so intricate. Like, they say Scorpion's fatality, right? Where he just kind of blast through the torso of the guy. So you think that'd be enough because now there's a big hole in the person's like half body.
No. Now that's
it's
considered
not
wholesome.
No, that's yeah.
Family table discussion.
No, that's too vanilla.
That was a shitty pun. That's what that was.
Yeah.
That was a shame, but it's My Little Pony nowadays.
So that's vanilla. So they step up a notch, and then he turns around, slices the guy's heads off, and throws a little like get over here spear at his face. Right? Like they have to add like layers to these fatalities, and it's like you gotta think more. Like it just always needs to be more. And apparently, according to the article, it was just a step too far for some of them, I guess, because it's like.
I mean, they're not going to go work for Candy Crush. They know what they're getting into.
Right.
I mean, you're going to work for fucking Mortal Kombat. What do you think it's going to be?
So, on the last boss in Candy Crush, we threw a bunch of stars and unicorns at him. This time, we really got to kick it up. So, I want to see some ball twisting. Maybe rip off one of his legs.
More glitter.
Yeah, more glitter. Okay, so we rip off one of his legs, and glitter explodes, and then you use the leg to beat the boss to death with it. Yeah.
And more colors.
Glitter
you
comes
gotta
out.
have, more bright colors.
Well, see, you know what you just reminded me of in Diablo 3, where you go to that one dimension that's like all like.
I was just gonna say, old reference for anyone that watched Aqua Teen. That's right, a bright and colorful rainbow. While not nearly as funny, it's guaranteed not to offend. And then it goes on.
Like I don't know who plays Diablo 3, but remember, I don't know, there was like, if you killed one of these trolls, you can go into this little dimension.
Yeah, Whimsyshire.
Whimsyville or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Whimsyshire. Yeah, and then you're like literally decapitating and blowing up unicorns and shit.
You
like
are
teddy bears.
murdering teddy bears and unicorns and little flowers.
It's like my favorite part of the game.
Blood goes everywhere.
Like, I don't want it to end, but it does end, and it makes me sad. It's just so awesome.
Cuddles, the fabric softener bear, comes in after you're done and laments not only at the carnage, but at how much he has to clean.
But they die in such a cute way, too.
I know, they sound so adorable. We really are going to hell.
Oh, yeah. So, in summary, while we understand where MK11 PTSD comes from, we do not sympathize with it. We don't have empathy for it.
We fully support this.
We are behind MK11 PTSD.
Give us more, please. I don't care what you do yourself. Give us more.
Gunslinger Guild endorses PTSD from MK11.
Oh, God. Speaking of PTSD, Rage 2 game that's coming out. Oh boy.
That's giving the players PTSD.
I played the first one. This one I kind of skipped on. It looks cool, but I just could have been co-op. Definitely, the first one was great. Again, slightly brutal and really disturbing, but lacking co-op. And because who doesn't want to run around and kill a bunch of mutant freaks with friends? I mean,
it sounds like a great time to me.
I'm waiting for a sale on this game. Otherwise, I don't know if from what I'm reading online and stuff like that, it's a nice, pretty picture, but I think the execution's not quite there.
Yeah, it's being put out by Bethesda. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to go to their launcher, and then we're gonna put it on Steam instead, because.
Yeah.
We know how that launcher went.
Yeah, it's actually a partnership with Bethesda and Avalanche, the guys that did was it Just Cause?
Oh, very cool.
So they got the open world from Just Cause, the open world and the physics from Just Cause, like their physics specialty, and then Bethesda for just the world that they created or whatever.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a pretty world, but lacking co-op. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, we need single-player games, but come on, these types of games are so much more fun when you can rip somebody's head off with a friend watching.
Exactly.
Yes, we are all going to hell.
Yeah.
What good is carnage if you don't have an audience?
Exactly.
So, with the article that we're going about related to this game, though, with the whole mutant design, and the guy, and I guess the guy who wrote the article having a problem with having a mutant having a cleft lip, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes. Damn.
I mean, I don't
why
want to
do mutants have that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to rag on somebody who has that. I just feel like I don't know. Okay, here I've kind of come to the point with developers is that maybe at some point we kind of we're expecting either all the wrong things or too much. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to wonder like what it is. Like,
I know what you mean, because I see like a logical argument. You know, okay, you want to give monsters cleft palates, and they're big rage monsters, and we got to kill them, and all the rest of that. But at the same time, there are kids around the world who are born with cleft palates. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's a simple surgery to correct it, and Doctors Without Borders does a great job going around providing free services. And so maybe in a game, throw in a character there who's got a cleft palate who's a really nice guy. And then I hear myself talking like that. I'm like, it's a video game. I know it's not real.
And it's a mutant.
Yeah, and it's a mutant. It's whatever. You know what? Mazel tov to the developers. I think it's going to be. It certainly looks like a very fun, gory game, and whatever. If it's fun, it's fun.
You can't cater to everyone. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know a game that's made everybody happy, right? It's like the same thing where people like how they bitch about Division 2 in regards to it's not political enough.
Yeah, because it's a video game.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, it's not really. What political stance are they supposed to take?
And how is that going to improve their market? Like, they're gonna appeal to one audience more than another? Alienate people that don't agree with some political ideology they decide to stick in there? Like, that doesn't make sense. Just tone it down. Appeal to as many people as you can. Make the game fun. Don't drag real world stuff into this. This is, it's a video game. People do it for fun.
It's an escape.
It is an escape.
Yeah. I think Ubisoft did the right thing with the game, and I applaud them for it. Because, keeping politics out of games is something that we should do. Because, let's face it, it's fucked up as it is. But we don't really want to talk about that here.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless we're poking fun at somebody.
Like there's one game that clearly has a politics to it that really 99% of the population does not have a problem with, and that's
is that the one that got pulled for the teddy bear, the Pooh Bear picture?
No. I'm talking about Wolfenstein.
Okay, there is nothing wrong with killing Nazis. All right, nobody has any problem with killing Nazis.
But still, there's people who rise up and like complain. It's like, this is what's wrong with someone was not doing good Nazis. Get the fuck out of here.
There's some SS Nazi somewhere that gets offended by it. Or white supremacists.
I'm like, dude, you really want to be out there like that? Like, advertising yourself being offended by that content?
You remember
in this day and age?
You remember the GIF of the guy in the panther suit or the cheetah suit just sitting there in front of his computer with his arms crossed, looking really angry at the camera? Anyway, or am I too old? All right, I'm too old. But there's this one. That's just what I picture. When pwnzilla said that, I was just like, yeah, there's a white supremacist sitting there in front of his computer with his arms crossed, going like, I don't think that's very funny.
No, especially.
That's not a good one.
No.
Thank you, Colonel Clink.
don't know if you played the last one, right? So there's a point in the game where you're going up against the KKK too, that are pretty much partnered up with the Nazis. So what you just
I
said,
don't
you can say
think
that
that's
in a
very
southern-
funny.
right, you get me southern accent. Yeah. So there's KKK people that were offended by it, and again, who gives a shit? It's just like,
It's as bad as the fucking Pinkertons with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh god, yeah, the Pinkerton estate going after RDR. Speaking of which, RDR is coming to PC.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah,
And-
but
I don't
when?
believe that. I don't believe that.
Yeah, but when is the right
Yeah,
question?
bullshit. I say bullshit.
I would,
because at the
if I
same
have to
point-
guess, it's a year after
A year,
release
I
on
would say.
console, just
Yeah.
like GTA 5.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good bet.
I'm with on that.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think it's going to be happening for anytime soon.
the article that came out on PC Gamer is just saying basically that we'll hear about it in 2019.
But all of the
E3 's
shit
coming
that
up.
they're saying, oh, but you see this like leaked photo of this and how they did this and the interface and all of that. They had that for the beginning Red Dead Redemption as well. They said, see, it's going to be on PC as well.
They
And
did.
that hasn't
Oh,
come
that's
out.
right,
I was
it
so
never
fucking
did.
mad about
That-
that.
yeah.
It never came out.
I know.
And it's not going to. Now it's like, oh, it's going to happen with Red Dead Redemption 2. It's just
Why?
all the people like me that really want it on PC because fuck consoles.
Yeah. PC Master Race. For all our console games, Gunslinger people, you people suck.
I love how the last
We
three
love you guys.
podcasts have been all PC people.
Yeah. Maybe we should invite some console players just to kind of balance this out.
Oh, we tried to invite them, but they're console peasants and they don't have microphones.
Oh.
no.
Download the app on your
Show
phone.
up, but he didn't show up today, but it's all good.
Mhm.
Yeah, sales. A bunch of them going on. Memorial Day, Epic sale, Steam summer sales coming up. But Epic Game had their first ever sale, and they beat Steam to it. It runs until June 13th. I think Steam starts on July 25th. At least that's what the leak date is. Obviously, a lot of these guys that I'm with are not huge fans of Epic Games, so we'll just put them in the corner for the minute. There's a couple that are pretty interesting. Metro Exodus, which just came out not too long ago, you can pick up for $35. World War Z, which you've heard me talk about, you can pick up for $20, and Hades, you can pick up for a whopping $10. And I've heard good things about it. Not my style of game, but I've heard some pretty good things about it. And Metro I've heard really good things about that. So now let the epic hate begin. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, with Hades, there's actually another game. I don't know if it's free anymore. It was when I found it. It's the same developer who made Hades. They have this other game. It's called Transistor. So it's along the same line.
Not free anymore.
Oh, it's not free. Okay, but yeah, it was free. I picked that up. It looks cool. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's not normally my style game either, but I'm trying to expand out a little bit. It's like the whole, what does he call it? Actually, I forget what it's called, the genre.
It's ARPG. It's an isometric hack and slash.
Yeah, isometric, right? Okay, yeah. So that's pretty good. As far as the Epic Games sales, I don't know. I'm like, I downloaded it despite other people saying like, oh, dude, boycott Epic because they're shady, blah blah blah, this that, and the other, because of all the exclusive stuff, whatever. I don't particularly care. Like, I don't really buy into that. I mean, as long as it lets me play on PC. Like, my biggest problem with gaming is just the whole console versus PC exclusive, that crap. That's what bugs me, because then I have to that forces me to buy multiple pieces of hardware, right? Whereas if there's different platforms like Steam, GOG, Origin, Epic, you need. It's just another piece of software I'm installing on the same device on my PC. So I'm very agnostic when it comes to that kind of stuff, right?
It's very different than making a $300 or $400 or $500 investment in, as you say, more hardware. I don't need more hardware. Also, my thumbs are stupid, so I can't really play with a controller. I'm bad. I'm bad with controllers.
Yeah,
two
so,
left,
I mean,
two left thumbs. Like,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, there's still
Rhyme is the free game until May 30th, and then City of Brass, which looks like a pirate game, maybe?
Yar.
Is free from May 30th to June 6th. But you brought up GOG, and actually, I want to touch base. The GOG is putting on a beta, so if you guys haven't seen it, it's GOG Galaxy 2.0 beta. They're supposed to be unifying a friends list and be able to launch games from anywhere and all that good stuff. It should be interesting. You'll be able to add, like, if you have an Xbox and a PS4 and a PC, you can add all one spot and it basically have one unified library with unified game stats. It'll be a game launcher for PC, and then all your friends in one place, which it'll be interesting to see how they implement this. I've signed up for the beta. I believe DrNiggle has too.
Yep.
So hopefully they kill it, because it'd be nice to see them do that.
It would. Big fan of GOG. They're one of the only marketplaces now selling exclusively DRM-free content, and I think that's fantastic. So, get your games to GOG.
I do like GOG as well. I didn't know about the what's the difference between GOG and Steam then?
GOG. Okay, so
I understand the DRM free stuff, but like if they're unifying platforms, what are they going to be? Are they going to be taking my entire Steam library into there?
Oh, I see.
No, it's going to be. From what I see and what I've read, it's going to be kind of like the Steam client is now. But say you got a game on Steam, you can launch it through GOG and it'll open. It'll still launch the game through Steam. Or say you have a game on Epic Game Store, you can launch it through GOG and it'll open up Epic Game Store.
I mean, Discord's doing that nowadays too.
Yeah.
Already.
But the thing that everybody's kind of looking to is the unified friends lists. Like all of your friends being, so your Uplay friends, your Origin friends, your Steam friends, like they'll all be in one place. And which to me that's the coolest feature. Like the other stuff, like GOG's as a game launcher, yeah, it'd be nice because then I can keep all my stats in one place instead of. I mean, Razer tried to do it with Cortex, but it doesn't have full capacity to do it. It doesn't play well with like Windows 10 Store games or UWP games, even some regular DirectX 12 games. It doesn't play well with.
Do you think that's because people start up these projects and then they realize the scope of what they've gotten themselves into and they kind of run out of steam?
I think so.
That very well could be. Or funding too. I mean, GOG's got good backers. And I have a feeling that what is their new CD Projekt Red game coming out? I've forgotten. What was that?
Cyberpunk.
Big talk about it being an Epic Game Store exclusive. I doubt it. I'm hoping to see it on GOG.
I hope.
Along with somewhere else. I mean, if it comes to Steam, I mean, honestly, I'd like to see it on Steam, Epic Game Store, and GOG. I mean, plus, obviously Xbox and PS4. But I don't see. I understand why Epic's doing what they're doing, but I think CD Projekt Red having interest in GOG, that it will release on GOG, and that's probably where I'll end up picking it up.
Yeah, I hope that's the case too.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do too. Yeah, because that's where I got Witcher 3 on GOG. That's the only thing I have on GOG.
Yeah, same.
Oh.
Well, that was the first thing I got on GOG.
30 games there.
Yeah, now I got a bunch more.
You can link your Steam account to GOG, and there are certain games that are on Steam. If you own them on Steam, you automatically own them on GOG, so you get DRM free version of them free.
Get out of here,
You know,
really? Wow,
Yeah, for sure, man.
I gotta check that out.
Civilization
You-
Call to Tower 2. That's my first one. I had.
Damn, B.
Oh.
How have we
Yeah.
never played Civ together?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to destroy the computer.
I also enjoy destroying the computer. It always starts. Every single Civ game starts the same for me. I think, hey, I'm gonna be friends with people. I'm gonna play this real diplomatically. People and I are gonna get along. We're gonna have trade routes. Everyone's gonna prosper. Then the AI starts being a dick to me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna nuke you.
Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm like, I'm gonna try
Yes,
and do
you
a
know how you are,
diplomatic
Nigo.
approach.
Speaking
or
of that,
like
when
a-
are you getting to Division 2?
No comment.
Dude, come on, man.
I've
Oh.
got completely tied into RimWorld right now. I'm completely addicted to RimWorld. I've got one main base going. It's glorious with about 40 colonists, and I just created a second colony across the world and expanding my reach basically. So I'm slowly taking over that planet. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
I've heard good things about RimWorld, but again, I just never got into that type of game. It's
You
a
know,
lot like Civ, right?
it's kind of like Civ, but it's more micromanagey. It can be micromanagey. You start off with very very micro management, and then you grow your colony, and so more and more macro starts coming in, and before you know it, when you have enough people, it's self-sufficient. But you have to build all these systems. You have to grow crops, create resources, manufacture things from raw materials, and then use them to build more sophisticated stuff. It's a dream for people like me who love management systems. So, there you go. You know what the best part of RimWorld is, though? It's the memes! And we have a new meme channel on the GS Discord!
You do?
Your
Yes.
staff, for Christ's sakes! How do you not know this?
I call them memes.
Oh, you were still from the Midwest.
I want me some memes. Some tiny memes. Speaking of management systems, I don't know if I'm thinking of picking up this game, Steampunk. Or that's not-
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about playing because it just seems like it's cool to have to develop a settlement in like the freezing ass cold.
Frostpunk, you mean?
Frostpunk, yeah. That's right.
Frostpunk, I highly recommend. It is
I
an
was just gonna
excellent
bring
game.
that up.
It is excellent game. So I think it's $30 on Steam.
Yeah.
And that's like for the full game. One of the few games that came out last year where they put it out, attached $30 price tag to it, and were like, we have planned content in the future. It's going to be free. And they released all this planned content. It was free. The game's fantastic. So yeah, definitely support that publisher. That developer is great.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, man,
in-
because I find myself very tempted to torrent stuff sometimes. Just you get screwed by all these games that come out. Like, oh man, I spent $60 on this crap. Like, I should just torrent it and
Anno 1800.
Yeah.
Oh, don't lie. Was Anno 1800 garbage?
Oh, that was garbage. That was hot garbage.
Yeah,
Like, what the hell were they thinking?
What was most garbage about it was that it was up for pre-order on Steam for months. I was eyeing it. I almost pre-ordered it, and then I went to pre-order it one day. It was gone. Now it's an Epic Store exclusive.
Well, you can still buy it on Uplay.
Of course. One of the greatest platforms out there. Uplay. Everyone loves Uplay.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Learn to code.
They have gotten better. I mean, granted,
They
only
pretty much
had-
have to, wouldn't they?
It's only up.
I know. They're doing their jobs now. They are.
Yeah. But that was something we didn't touch on. The Epic Game Store sale. Every Ubisoft game has been pulled from the Epic Game Store during the sale, which I found interesting. A bunch of other developers that have pulled games too, which it is what it is, I guess.
So what do they do? Okay, yeah. So Ubisoft games are. I mean, that's probably why they're not on Steam, though, right? Because it's like Steam has sales on the regular, right? So.
They're on Steam.
No, they
they
were
are?
on Steam. They
Oh.
starting with the Division 2. they started being only on Epic Game Store and Uplay, which I believe DrNiggle and I had this conversation a while back, was basically to drive more profit to Uplay or sales from Uplay instead of from Steam, which means they get 100% of the cut. So either way, they're gaining money because they get 12% from. They only have to give up 12% on
the Epic Store,
and they get 100% on Uplay. Where Steam, they had to give up 30%.
We did, and we had this conversation because it was a smart business move from Ubisoft's standpoint, because they got to eliminate the cut that they were having to pay Steam by taking their games off Steam. They got to expose themselves to a new market by putting themselves on the Epic Store. Plus, they only had a 12% cut to take from Epic. And they knew that everyone from Steam was going to be pissed off that, these exclusives were happening. So they, people who on Steam were pissed off, dumped all that hate onto the Epic Store and, drove more business to Uplay. So Ubi used Epic as a buffer to drive more sales towards the Uplay client. So it makes sense. I don't hate that. It's just I don't want to participate in that anymore, so I'm done.
Yeah. So wait, so then did they only take it off while they have that sale going on in Epic, or is it off?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're temporarily taken off the Epic Store just for the duration of the sale.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some other games that were also pulled by developers for
I
the
guess
sale.
they did the financial math on there, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Whatever that turns out.
That's the other bummer too, is more and more developers now have shareholders, to please. It's no longer about pleasing your audience or making good games and getting a good reputation in the gaming community. It's about.
So here's the thing I've been throwing out there to like my other friends online that I play with. Like, I think we would solve a lot of these developer problems if they are no longer publicly traded companies, if they went back to private.
Yeah, but there's no profit in that.
Yeah.
I mean, there totally
no,
is.
you're 100% right, but yeah, there's less profit and.
Yeah.
How's it?
Let's
play that out. How is it less profit? If you're a private company, that doesn't mean that you can't sell to more people.
That's true. However, if you're a private company, then you don't have the benefit of having, a board of or publicly traded stocks, which can go up, hopefully only up in value, which makes your company worth more, which makes people invest in your company more or feel comfortable doing that. So it's like two new revenue streams on top of whatever you had as a private company.
Well,
Plus they have
it's not really a revenue stream.
Bigger,
investment. Yeah, sure.
More
money.
It's an investment.
Yeah.
So when people invest in your company, that gives you the opportunity to grow more, and I guess make bigger games. But here's the thing that's been happening. Like, yeah, they've got this in capital infusement from the public market. But what are they doing with it? Like, what they're doing all these loot crate crap, the gambling basically, right?
Yeah.
And they're making these subpar games by they're making it like these AAA games in scope and size and money, but they're not quality, right? It's like throwing good money
they
after
fucking
bad.
fail, man.
Yeah. So is all that extra capital they're getting from the public market worth it anymore? Especially when it comes to strings,
they're still making money, so they don't really care. I mean,
Yeah. Quantity of quality.
So Anthem didn't lose. So you're saying Anthem didn't really make a dent, or didn't really hurt EA or BioWare?
No, Apex Legends came in and fucking saved the day for 'em. Like, it might have killed BioWare. Like, it's not sugarcoat this. Like, BioWare, the studio, like, is no longer the BioWare that everybody loved. Like, the original Mass Effect games and, the original, whatever. It's not the same BioWare, and that might have been, like, I guess we'll see if Dragon Age 4 saves the day or if it's an epic fail. If it's an epic fail, I think we can kiss any future Mass Effect games out the window, and you can kiss BioWare goodbye.
It's gonna fail. They did the exact same thing with Andromeda. They pulled off people that do Anthem.
And yet, like not to forget, but back in March, Anthem was EA's best-selling game or top-selling game after Mass Effect 3. So Anthem actually made quite a bit back. I don't have like exact figures in front of me or anything. I'm not sure if they made back all the development costs or the marketing costs or whatnot, but Anthem actually did pretty good. So
yeah, but the thing is man, they built a lot of bad
Afterwards.
buildings.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. And I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
They
Wait,
just-
no, Leetness, you went to college for like 27 years to study economics and marketing. What are your thoughts?
He's sleeping over there.
No, the thing is, I mean, if you look at EA, what they're doing now is they're just going with a subscription model. They don't care about the price.
Oh.
They're giving away all their games for free in their subscription model. They want you to buy the subscriptions. That's
true.
monthly revenue. They don't give a shit if you buy the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of push in Origin to sign up. What the hell is it called?
Origin Access.
Origin Access.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
to-
you get the base one and the Premier one, and the Premier one you get all the extras and shit like that.
I booted up Origin for the first time in forever last week, and I noticed they had added another tier to Origin Access. I was like, wait a minute. It used to just be
Speaking
the
of-
one.
Sims,
You know-
Sims 4 is free on there now.
Yeah, I know. You posted that.
Yeah. You know you haven't access to a store in a long time when it takes a while just to get in because you got to update like crazy.
Yeah, right.
This is my problem right now. Coming back from vacation.
It sounds like a
everything's-
regular day for me.
I don't know, then it wants my username and my password. I don't remember my goddamn Origin
Yeah,
password.
I know, dude. I had to reset everything. Like I don't remember. Like oh god. Like I don't touch you. I don't remember what the.
Yeah,
hell.
I don't use this. I used this launcher back when I played Mass Effect Andromeda. That's the last time I used this.
Yeah, and then I wanted to forget about it altogether.
I still play it. Like mods have really helped the game. I mean, plus the story is pretty good and the movement I
I'm
really
not gonna
enjoy.
lie. A few of my friends and I, we actually went back to Mass Effect 3 to play its multiplayer.
It's a good game.
Oh, dude,
The
Mass Effect
multiplayer was actually kind of fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah,
so we
it
had to get a whole emulator, all this. We had to create our own private server and all of it, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And then we were giving ourselves like free money and shit. I mean, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot because we wanted to kind of keep it like sane, like kind of like how we would play it if we were if it was a live game, right? But we gave like a little bit, right? Just kind of like it's like a sign-in bonus or some shit, right?
Sure.
And then we did it, and then we tried to pick up which class we wanted to play, and we went with that. And it's actually pretty fun. I mean, it was a bit of a convoluted process to get in and get it to work a little bit, but once we did, a group of us just went in and we just started slaughtering the enemy, the AI and stuff like that, and just going through that. And then we started wondering, what the hell was the point was this like in the actual game? Like, supposedly, if you did this, you're building up your faction in Mass Effect 3.
Oh yeah, you're building up the forces that you get to fight the Reapers at the end.
Your
Honestly,
readiness level.
Yeah, readiness.
Honestly,
That's
I don't think it had any impact at all. I had a 100% ready, I think, or 90-some% readiness without doing that shit at all. By doing anything else.
Oh, that was such a good game. My God.
It was. The ending, they dropped the ball in the ending, but
The first time, yeah, that was the other thing. I didn't really have. I played that game like immediately when it came out, and I did go through the end, and I was just like, well, I pretty much knew that's what was going to happen, but wow, I had such a great time in like the 48 hours playing this game before I got to the ending. Yeah, I wasn't really bummed about it, and that may have been one of the first times I noticed the internet getting outraged over a video game because they didn't like it, and I probably thought that was ridiculous.
I mean, they might have gotten too much flack because the ending, it did, like, in my opinion, it did suck, but not enough for me to be pissed off with the whole game as a whole.
Right.
Because that was one of those few games where I felt like whatever I was doing in that game mattered toward the end game. Like I was building up to something, right? Like I built up to the best possible ending I could possibly get, right?
Right.
Because I did the story right. I picked all the right choices. I made sure I didn't kill off any race or anything. I made sure everybody lives, so that we all can band together and fight the Reapers and stuff like that, and win ultimately and stuff like that. Now, like the three choices that you had for an ending, right? Like like the bad choice, the worst choice, and then like the okay choice.
Well, there were 4 choices. There were 4 choices actually.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
not
so-
making a choice.
You could do nothing
Yeah,
and
not-
let the
not-
Reapers
do
kill
nothing,
everyone.
Yeah, the worst possible choice. Yeah. Yeah, not do anything, right? So, but like, I mean, and then they fixed, well, quote unquote, fixed it by putting in a bunch of like barely animated scenes at the end, like just drawn pictures and shit,
They did.
which is okay. I mean, I was okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna. I was fine. It's fine. It's fine. No, whatever.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's cool.
It wasn't.
It's
It
cool.
was fine, but not really.
Okay, sweetie. All right.
I mean, I'm not filled with rage about it, you know. I'm like, you know, like, I'm okay. I moved on with it. It's great, you know. Good. I mean, what pissed me off more is what they did with Andromeda. I'm like, what the fuck, you know? What is this shit? Just, you know, I played it. I played all of it, and like, I'm like, you know, and there was a whole lot of what the fuck is going on here. Like, it didn't feel like as fun as playing Mass Effect 3.
Did you go back and replay the entire trilogy from start to finish?
No, I don't think Mass Effect 1 and 2 would have aged well by this point.
Mass,
3 maybe?
Mass Effect 2 is still pretty damn good. Mass Effect 1
Yeah,
is
Mass
a
Effect
little
2.
tough.
Yeah, that one's a movie that aged well, but 2 probably maybe I could play.
And
There's an entire community that has HD mods for both of them that bring Mass Effect 1 to look just as good as Mass Effect 3 with 4K textures.
oh, God bless you guys.
And
Thank
I
you.
highly recommend those. And for those that want to, play it with super high graphics and a controller, they even make controller mods for Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. So you can play all 3 with a controller, just like you did on Xbox, but with fancy, shiny 4K graphics. And I
Yeah,
highly recommend them.
really big
know-
thank you to everybody in the modding community that puts out texture packs
seriously.
for high definition stuff. That's so awesome of you guys.
So for anybody in modding community that's listening to this, God bless you, your family, and your ancestors for you existing. Because you guys, like, I mean, seriously though, like even like for the most obscure game, there's a modder out there willing to put the work and effort into, like, improve upon a game that real developers that get paid to do what they do. These guys don't get paid to do it, and they do it. And I'm like, there's not enough props to give these people. There just isn't. Like these guys, I'm like, wow, dude.
This is what happens, by the way, in a country that invests in education and sends people to school, and then people discover these passion projects, and they're like, "Huh, that's really neat." So instead of going outside and building something out of like sticks and mud, they're like, "Hey, I want to make an HD texture pack for this game that came out 5 years ago," and it sounds crazy, and then people like us absolutely love it. So yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, Pwnzilla.
Yeah.
Niggle can remember my Arma 3 days, where the only game you saw me play was Arma 3.
Gobi 42 is playing Arma 3. I wrote a short science fiction story about how the game was infecting you like a virus.
I want to read that story.
I did some missions and stuff, and actually have a custom gun that was designed just for me by a modder. Eric J. He made it for me. I paid him for it, and I've donated to a couple of other ones as well that have done extremely great work. The Cup series, which they basically brought assets from Arma 1 and Arma 2 to Arma 3, which are just absolutely amazing. They've brought in islands and stuff, so like I think there's up to like 15 or 20 maps you can play on in Arma 3 now. Every map from Arma 1 and Arma 2. They've brought in most of the soldiers, any weapon you can think of. I mean, and they do this shit for free. And yeah, a huge shout out to the entire Arma 3 modding community. You guys are great, and I love you guys. Keep it up.
Leetness, who do you want to say is great?
Yes.
Me.
Dr. Niggle's great.
Yay!
All right.
Yes.
We're,
I've still got Mass Effect 3 installed, but I haven't played it more than like an hour. So.
Okay, we gotta get that going with you.
You're
Boo
failure.
me.
We're gonna get on that after Ghost Recon Wildlands.
I know, I need to get
Yes.
back to that.
Oh man.
So we are almost out of time for the night. I want to thank you guys for, bearing with us. But last roundtable of the night. What's on your DVD or DVR this week?
Game of Thrones?
Everything, because I've been out of the country for a month.
Yeah, pretty much everything for me. I've been without internet access, without much at all. I've been in the bush. So, yeah, I'm gonna be watching whatever we've got stored. My wife's actually watching stuff.
For me, right now, it's probably more anime than anything because right now we're at the end of the season, right? So now we're in the summer.
Yeah.
You know, the dead season basically.
Yeah.
For TV shows and stuff like that. I mean, I have a bunch I watched, but they're all season finales done already. So, but Japan, they keep chugging along, so they don't. This is the spring season for them.
Yeah, that's so awesome. They keep on putting out content year round.
I know. Yeah, it keeps me going. It definitely fills in the gaps from when American 22 episode seasons end and begin.
If you got any like real top tier anime shows to recommend, I haven't seen anime in years.
Let's see. Well, One Punch Man season 2 is currently running.
Oh, someone else told me I have to. I gotta watch that.
You have to watch One Punch Man. It's just ridiculous. It's awesome. Season 2 is also great, but the animation is a little, in my opinion, compared to the first season, subpar because it's like they want a different studio's doing the animation because the studio that's originally doing the animation for season 1 apparently was already caught up in another project, so they couldn't.
Gotcha.
Fit it in, so it's that whole thing, right? But
yeah.
It's not horrible. It's definitely watchable and stuff like that. But the content's still great, so it's still definitely worth watching. I know a lot of people watching Attack on Titan. I kind of lost track of that show after like a season. But that one's pretty good.
I prefer the live action movies.
Yeah.
Just dead silence.
I don't think we have time for
your DVR.
We don't have time to talk about that, so I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to touch that. I'm not even
All right, Kobe, what about you? What's on your DVR?
Well, I think I'm gonna watch John Wick 2 in preparation for John Wick 3 coming out.
Nice.
Other than that, I've been watching Baywatch.
Of course you have.
On season 2 of 9.
That movie is
Why the
funny.
fuck not? No, the old school TV show. They remastered it and put it on Amazon Prime, all 9 seasons.
Wait, they remastered it, so is it available in HD?
It is.
Wait, Pamela Anderson in HD?
Yeah, Pam Anderson in slow motion in HD.
Sold. I'm back on it again.
Yep.
It's gonna be my puberty childhood all over again.
There was one other. House is the other one that I kind of went back and I've been watching. And there was one other one that showed up on that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've been really sucked into.
Yo, if you're watching
Baywatch.
If you're watching older shows, have you seen The Wire?
No, I haven't. But it's kind of like one of those down my line.
Yeah,
that should be kind of bump that up because that show is like essential watching. Like it's up there with Breaking Bad and Sopranos and.
Oh my God! I
yeah.
was about to say. The whole this is a prime example for everyone listening of what kind of a show The Wire is. It's the kind of show that people will tell you to watch because it's fantastic. It's the same kind of show as Breaking Bad. People will just tell you to watch it. It doesn't matter what you like or anything. They'll just say you have to watch Breaking Bad. It's amazing. You have to watch The Wire. It's amazing. You have to watch The Sopranos, except for the last episode. It's amazing.
I mean, I could tell you more about The Wire, but again, we don't have nearly enough time for all that.
Idris Elba, isn't it?
Oh, well,
Ooh.
Idris Elba.
Right.
I fell in love with Idris Elba after that show, actually.
He is. I've never.
I'll move it up.
I haven't been that confused watching a TV show since I saw David Hasselhoff running in slow motion.
What's even funnier is...
Wait, how confused were you? Sexually confused?
I'm just saying, he's a good-looking man.
Definitely was, yes.
Might smash.
Yes. And on that note, Again, I want to thank you all for stopping by and joining me on this podcast. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully next week we'll get back into our weekly podcast. It's all Leetness' fault. If he hadn't taken that damn vacation for months,
Yep.
we would have done this weekly. All right. Thanks again, guys, and
Thank you.
See y'all next week.
Thank you.
Later, guys. Love you, Leetness.
Later, guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.